When designing PowerPoint slides, it is important to consider the following neurocognitive principles that can be classified under three main goals. The first one has to do with engaging the audience. The second one has to do with directing the attention of the audience to relevant and significant information, while the third goal is concerned with promoting comprehension and retention of information over time. These three objectives are supported by several neurocognitive principles that we will explore in depth. Let us consider the two principles that aim to engage the audience. The first is the cognitive principle of relevance. This means that from the moment we decide to create a presentation, we have to think about what is the main message we want to convey, the take-home message, if you will, that will stay with our audience. Therefore, it is important that the information we present is neither too much nor too little, and that it is presented in the simplest and most direct way possible. Hence, the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. This means avoiding the use of complex terminology and dosing the information. That is, to deliver the information as a homeopathic dosage, concentrated in small doses. The second principle is the adaptation of the information we want to present to the audience in terms of the background knowledge. This principle is closely related to the constructivist pedagogical concept we know as meaningful learning. According to the American theorist David O. Subel, this is the type of learning in which a student relates the new information to that already known, redesigning and rebuilding both in the process. Let us consider now the three principles that aim to direct the attention of the audience to the relevant and significant features in the information presented. We have here the salience principle, by which we notice salient features, noticeable differences. As in this example, this type of discriminability can be achieved through several ways, but the important thing is that the properties of the information are different enough to be noticeable. The examples we have here represent differences in color, texture, shape, direction, and size. These principles promote the use of design and animation tools to illustrate those differences, thereby guiding the attention of the audience to the specific information or concept you want them to remember. The organization of the information is also important to keep the attention of the audience. In this case, it is important to remember what numerous studies indicate. That is, that the beginning and the end of a presentation are what sticks the most with the audience, while the information presented in the middle tends to be forgotten. One way to maintain the focus during this period is to reproduce the type of organization of information news networks like CNN produces. That is, short and varied news items. Finally, we have the three principles that aim to promote understanding and retention of information over time. The first principle emphasizes again the limited capacities of understanding and retention in the audience. This principle is closely related to the theory of cognitive load. This theory suggests that the load or capacity of working memory has a cap on the amount of information it can process. If this load is exceeded, learning does not occur. This principle, therefore, reiterates and supports the idea that less is more, and that the dosage of information has a positive impact on comprehension and retention of information over time. The second principle relates to information changes. That is, that every change, whether it be animation, movement, or properties in the information presented, such as change in color or size, carries specific meaning. Failure to comply with this principle has long caused irritation in the audience and the bad reputation of the use of animations, movements, and unnecessary changes that ultimately hinder the effectiveness of the presentation. The third and final principle relates to the compatibility of the meaning conveyed by the information with the type of image or text that it's represented by. We have here an example of a metaphor in English that does not require the text, as it clearly represents the phrase, "money grows on trees." This principle relates to the new capabilities of visual interpretation and levels of visual literacy most digital natives have developed. These principles converge in the three main objectives of a presentation: engaging with the audience, directing the attention of the audience to relevant and significant information, and promoting comprehension and retention of information over time.